Welcome to Folklore Tuesdays. Today's tale comes from far off northern Russia. It's the story of a noble bogatyr by the name of Dobrynia Nikitich. That's a great knight of the Russian people. This is the story of how he encountered a great female dragon and how he did battle with her. Davnim, davno, long time ago. Long time ago, there lived a mighty bogatyr, a knight by the name of Dobrynia Nikitich. One day he lusted for adventure and to go on noble quests and do mighty deeds. But his mother, his dear old mother, was worried, and she said to Dobrynia, "My son, please promise me 4 things. You must at all costs avoid the Saracen mountains. Do not trample on baby dragons, and do not rescue Russian captives, and do not bathe in the Puchai River." Now, of course, when somebody's told not to do something, and Dobrynia is no exception, so these things sounded like a mighty adventure, a mighty quest, and this is the tale of how he disobeyed his mother and did all those 4 things. So one day he set out on his mighty quest, and he came to the banks of the Puchai River. He went into the river and started bathing. When all of a sudden a bubbling started to arise from the river. And out of the bubbling of the water, he saw a magnificent dragon, a lady dragon. And she said, "I am Zmei Gorinich. What are you doing, young man, bathing in my river?" Unarmed and desperate, the Dobrynias from early adventures, had discovered a hat from the Greek land. And he put on the hat from the Greek land, and he used it to wrestle with the dragon, taming her. Please, Dobrynia, pleaded the lady dragon, Zmei Gorinich. And so the two of them decided they would make a pact of non-aggression. But being like most dragons are, Zmei Gorinich, she broke the promise, and immediately she flew off to Kiev, where she abducted the niece of Prince Vladimir of Kiev, Zabava Putyatishna. When Dobrynia arrived at Kiev, Prince Vladimir was greatly upset by the loss of his daughter, Zabava Putyatishna. "Please, Dobrynia, you must rescue her from that accursed lady dragon, Zmei Gorinich. I don't know what I would do without my dear niece. If you do not rescue her, I will have you executed," said Prince Vladimir. So Dobrynia Nikitich didn't know what to do, and he went and he complained to his dear mother. "I have no steed, and I have no spear to do this task Prince Vladimir wants me to do." This, and his dear mother said to him, "Do not worry, my son." And she took out an heirloom horse called Burko. "And also, my son, here is a whip of braided silk. It is called the Shamahan." And so he took these gifts from his dear mother. And he went on, and he rescued Russian captives, and he trampled on the dragon pups of the female dragon Smygornich, slaying each one. But when one of the dragon pups bit into the leg of his horse's leg, completely immobilizing it, Dobrynia remembered he had the magic whip, Shamahan, whose lashes restored vigor in his horse, and it freed him. The dragon Smygornich was very angry for the death of her little dragon pups, and she refused to surrender Princess Zabava without a fight. So Dobrynia Nikitich fought the dragon at the great Saracen Mountains for 3 days and 3 nights, and on the 3rd day he wanted to give up and leave. But a voice from heaven told him to fight for 3 more hours. Dobrynia eventually killed the dragon in 3 hours. The dragon's blood did seep and tape down into the ground, and Dobrynia wallowed in the pool for 3 days. The voice from heaven eventually told him to stick his spear in the ground and say a special incantation. The blood was then swallowed by the earth, and Zabava, Princess Zabava, was rescued. Since Dobrynia was a peasant, he could not marry Zabava, and he gave her to Alyosha Povovich, another bogatyr. Dobrynia encountered a Pola Anitsa, Nastasia, and together they became married instead, and they had a magnificent wedding, and they lived happily ever after to the end of their days. Or, in Russian, they would say, I žehili oni dolgo I Telivo I umerli verodin den. And they lived happily, long and happily, and they died on that very same day. The end.